Hey there, this is Kathy from OakHillHomestead.com and Homegrown Your Backyard Garden podcast. I had a really thoughtful message from a listener this week, and I wanted to answer it here because I know others might be wondering the same thing. The message came from a listener in Annapolis, Maryland, and asked about saving seeds from a hybrid tomato, specifically SunGold, and what happens if you save and replant those seeds over time. And because this is a tomato question, and almost everyone loves tomatoes, I thought I'd answer it here for you too. I'll also share 2 simple solutions at the end that have worked really well for me. The question was basically this: if you save seeds from a hybrid tomato like SunGold, will those plants always be hybrids? Can the fruit change? And could those seeds ever become stable or heirloom over time? Here's my take on this. SunGold is a hybrid tomato, which means it was created by crossing 2 specific parent plants. That first generation seed, the seeds that you buy, is very consistent and productive, which is why so many gardeners love it. And the taste is pretty awesome too. It's one of my favorite cherry tomatoes as well. But when you save seeds from a hybrid tomato, or any other vegetable, and plant them the next year, those plants usually don't grow true to the original. Instead, the next generation plants can show a wide range of traits. You might get something similar to SunGold, something leaning more toward one of the parent plants, or something that totally surprises you in color, flavor, or productivity. If you keep saving those seeds year after year, in other words, if you plant your saved seeds and then save seeds from those tomatoes and plant them the next year, and so on, the results stay unpredictable unless you're intentionally selecting plants with traits that you like. With careful selection over many generations, it is possible to eventually end up with a stable, open-pollinated variety of your own, but it takes time, patience, and consistency, and it probably won't resemble the original SunGold very much. For most home gardeners, saving seeds is more of a hobby or an experiment than a reliable way to get the same tomato again. But that brings me to the simple solution I mentioned earlier, one that I use myself. I love SunGold tomatoes. The flavor, the sweetness, that bright orange color, and they produce really well. They're one of my favorites too. But because it's a hybrid, I don't save the seeds expecting the same tomato next year. Instead, I looked for an open-pollinated variety that was as similar to SunGold as possible. It took a while to find one. I looked for several years, but I did. The variety I grow now is SunGold Select 2. It's an open-pollinated selection that gives me that sweet, fruity flavor that we all love. In other words, someone in Germany did all that work for me, selectively saving seeds from the original plants and fine-tuning the plants and the tomatoes they produced for years. And because this is open-pollinated, I can save seeds from these plants and expect fairly consistent results. My original seed packet does note that it can occasionally produce red tomatoes instead of orange, and that's just part of how open-pollinated varieties can show a little natural variation. Unfortunately, the company I originally bought these seeds from doesn't carry them this year. But if you search the name SunGold Select 2, and that's the Roman numeral 2, you can still find it from a few heirloom seed companies online. There's one more option I want to mention because it's another way that I handle hybrid tomatoes I really love. Instead of saving seeds, you can take cuttings from your hybrid tomato plant in the fall and overwinter them indoors. Because those cuttings are clones of the original plant, you're not dealing with seeds and genetic variation. You're keeping the exact same tomato plant growing year after year. I have a whole episode on how to do this step by step, and I'll link that one in the show notes. And one last quick note, since we're talking about tomatoes, I have been loving some of the tips that Amy Cross shared on a guest episode last year about storing produce to make it last longer. Using her method, I have kept cherry tomatoes, including SunGold, fresh in my refrigerator for up to 8 weeks, which honestly shocked me. I'll link the episode where she shared those tips in the show notes. in case you'd like to try them too. So if you enjoy experimenting, saving seeds from hybrids can be fun. But if your goal is consistency, then open-pollinated and heirloom varieties are the way to go. If you ever have a gardening question that you'd like me to answer here, you're always welcome to leave fan mail on Buzzsprout or send me an email. There's a link in the show notes to sign up for my email newsletter as well. Our Homegrown podcast is on winter break right now, but I'll be back this spring with new episodes starting in April. If you'd like to make sure you don't miss a single episode when the new season begins, be sure to follow or subscribe in your podcast app. And as always, thanks for listening, and happy gardening wherever you are.